Hello and welcome to the Sacred Gates. My name is Ilura, and today the sound of this recording may sound a little bit different because I'm outside and talking into my smartphone, and I'm just in a beautiful place and I've just finished doing my Qigong practice, and I thought I would do a recording here for you now from this place that's so beautiful. And I wanted to do just a quick talk about Qigong. And even though on the channel we don't teach actual Qigong practices like the energy ball and how to build it, I did do a few videos previously, but no longer am I teaching that online because it's better to really get in person or one-on-one training for that kind of thing. But I will just share, in case you've already got a practice going, or you're interested in learning a little bit more about Qigong and who you are in relation to your own energy body, which can either help you get started on your path or find out more or look into it yourself, is that when, for example, I'm doing my energy practice, Qigong practice, I'm focusing on myself from the bottom up. So if you can imagine myself, when working from the ground, the vital energies that come from the earth that also are inherent in my own body, and that way we're working there on the lower Dantian. That's the plane of the lower Dantian. Then we have the middle Dantian, which is the one just above the lower Dantian, and that is where you can work with your emotional energy, your astral energy, which is where the personality sits. It's the astral heart, your personality. It's where all your emotions are flowing. And then you work on that level, secondly. And then lastly, I would work going from the bottom up. Then the last is the top Dantian, the upper Dantian, which is your connection to your higher bodies and spiritual energy, divine consciousness. So some people work top down. I personally don't recommend that because it's not as safe, because you really want to, like building a house, you want to build the foundations first. You don't start by building the roof. Otherwise, all sorts of troubles will arise. You'll probably get squashed underneath the house as it falls on top of you. It's actually impossible almost to build a house with the roof first. So we build from the bottom up. And the reason why is because your vital energy is what keeps you connected to the earth, which is your greatest home, your physical home. And that's how you're able to have a spiritual experience in a physical body, is due to your physical home. So we take care of the foundations first. And it helps to, if you don't have enough energy, vital energy in your body, then you try to do all these, you try to go to the gym even, or try to do Qigong, you're going to find that you go into a deficit. And you don't want to go into a deficit when you already don't have enough, because you really can make yourself feel really not good, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And if we're already feeling like our energy is low and we need more vital energy, you really need to tend to that first. And it is better, like with anything, not to let your vital energy go too low either. So you want to make sure you keep a good amount of vital energy flowing through your body every day. And there are many ways that we can do that. So we work on our vital energy first, taking care of our foundations, taking care of what it is that drives us and keeps us going and keeps us vital in life, so that we can then work on other parts of us, such as the emotions, the emotional body and the mental body. So once you've worked on your vital energy, then you feel more stable, you feel more vital. You've actually got focus, because if your vital energy is really low, it's really hard to kind of concentrate. It's hard to, let your practice take you somewhere and walk your path and practice properly. So once you've got your vitals up, then you can move up into the middle Dantian. And from the middle Dantian, we work with our emotional body. So this area here is you feel your heart, you feel all the emotions, and depending really on how you are feeling that day and how you've been taking care of yourself and how often you've cleansed and cleared this middle Dantian, then you're going to feel a certain way. And you may already know, once you become more familiar with your entire body, your entire map, then you can kind of already feel, most of the time when you sit with your eyes closed, you get a pretty good gauge of how you're feeling emotionally. And if you've got a lot of reactions, you've got a lot of emotional reactions and attachments on the emotional body level, Sometimes you'll also have a lot of thoughts that get magnetized into that emotional body. So you'll find that you have a lot of thoughts as well, unhelpful thoughts, unskillful thoughts. And so when we go into the emotional body, we want to clear and release all those attachments. So like we say, we're not saying emotions are bad, but when we get attached to them, we kind of get bound to them. We kind of get into a bondage with them. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all. So if you can imagine, if you don't clear and cleanse and deactivate, in a sense, through releasing attachment in this area, and instead you go just straight up to your upper dantian, which is where a lot of powerful spiritual energy and much broader than your level of lower self-consciousness is. Imagine not clearing all your emotional stuff, and you just then channel in all this high vibration, higher body energies. It can be very problematic, because you really do need to clear all the, you know how horrible you feel when you feel all crazy emotional. you want to clear all that up so that it doesn't get mixed in with all of that beautiful higher self energy, because you can very easily not clear your emotional middle dantian, the astral body there, and you can still successfully open and let in spiritual energy, but it's not going to be, so it's not like you can't do it just because you didn't clear. So you need to be taking good care of yourself, because you can let in all that spiritual energy, but it'll actually mix with all your emotional reactivity. So it's kind of like you've just amplified all of your emotions that are all reactive in your auric field, in your body, and connecting to your mental field too. So if you already feel a little bit unbalanced, that's a really great way to unbalance yourself, is not to like clear up that middle dantian and then you let in all this higher energy. So you're working on your vital first. You feel grounded. You feel like you've got the energy for this work. You're feeling connected to your earth, to your home, to your origins. You feel released on the earth plane, and then you work and you release the emotional body. And this is where we can release emotional attachments. We can do a lot of work in this area as well. And of course, you can allow vital to come into that area as well. And once you're clear, you need to be able to feel. All of this is all about feeling. You can't do this intellectually. So I'm giving you information that's going into your intellect right now, but the actual practice is about cultivating sensitivity. And sensitivity is a form of concentration. And so you need to be able to concentrate and feel and train properly. So this is just information. I'm not going to talk about how to actually do it all, because I would hate to, I don't know your level of practice, so your level of ability, and I don't know you. So, but this is just information so you can understand your map better of your being, of your body, of what's going on. And then once you feel, through feeling, through your ability to be sensitive to your own energies, to your own body, to be strong in your values, to be honest and clear, then when you're ready to move on to the upper dantian. And the upper dantian is very, very highly sensitive. And once you've cleared those emotions, you can actually feel that beautiful, those higher bodies, your crown chakra, divine energy, however you like to relate to it, coming through your body, coming into your awareness. And you need to continue relaxing, which you will feel more relaxed, truly deeply relaxed, after you've cleared your emotional body. So again, if you haven't cleared your emotionals, your middle dantian, you'll have a lot of hooks, and reactions are like little hooks, and so things are going to get stuck and sticky. You'll be very sticky. You're like a piece of sticky tape with all these little bits. You're walking around, everything's sticking to you. And so, through the spaciousness, openness of your being, grounded and open, emotionally clear, you can then allow all that soft, beautiful, healing, spiritually divine, high vibration energy through you. Now, again, with all of these experiences, we must always ask, why are we doing this? What is the purpose of this experience? What am I going to do here? Where am I going to go? Where do I want to take my consciousness? So it's a little bit like preparing your car for the ride. Make sure you got a full tank of petrol, which is your vital energy. Make sure the car is mechanically sound, which is also connected to vital. car is clean, the windscreen is clear, so you can see, you clear up all your emotions, and then you're good to go. And well, what am I doing here? So that's when you want to look at, well, why am I a practitioner? What am I doing? And so letting in that beautiful divine energy, you will want to experience that. And it's not about directing it. There's a lot less directive focus there. So everything we're working with from the vital, it's not that you're creating more vital energy. It's that you're opening up your system, your fascia, your being, your muscles. You're relaxing your body into what is already there. You're relaxing your being into the vital energy that's already there. Same with the astral, the body there, the qualities of astral energy of the middle dantian have a certain quality to them. And we're opening up ourselves up to the astral field and releasing our emotions through and our personality through that field, because that's where it resonates at. So we want to tune into the feeling of that which is already there. And that makes it much easier. When we think that we're doing it all, we actually draw on our own energy. It's a very good way to drain ourselves. So what we're doing is we're opening up to the universal field, and we're working with our own, physical dimension as a multidimensional being, but the physical dimension through the vital, then the multidimensional aspects of our emotions, and tapping into what is already there. And again, when we move up into the upper dantian, it's so much about letting go and really not directing, and softening into and releasing into and allowing. So you really do want to clear up those emotions, because what happens when you do Qigong, when you're practicing Qigong and you're working just say with your own energy, you are literally like an incredible battery. You're an electromagnetic battery, and you're sending out signals through your consciousness. And when you were working on and creating energy, or working with the energy that already exists, you are basically amplifying everything that you are in that moment. So if you were crazy and angry and someone, ticked you off, and you're still holding on to that, and you go into your practice, I very much advise not to do any Qigong. Just don't. If you're not able to clear your emotional, if your middle dantian, for example, or like I said, your energy is really low, it's better not to launch into this giant kind of practice session, because you really will amplify whatever it is that you're stuck on, whatever you're sticky paper onto. And so you want to clear, make sure you're very much careful about what you do when you're doing Qigong. So if you're quite negative at that point in your life, and you keep practicing in that way, you're not being mindful, you're not being responsible for your own emotions and clearing them and really learning it properly, which is why I don't teach anymore, not teaching online in that way through YouTube. I think it's too dangerous. I would hate to be, in part responsible for anything that bad could happen to you. So we don't want to turn ourselves into the amplification machine with amplifying lots of negative narratives and scary things, and, potentially things that we're not aware of in ourselves, such as being prideful or dishonest, ill will towards something or someone or even ourselves. That all that gets very quickly amplified, and it's not something you might always notice, especially if you're not aware. You can't be aware of what you're not aware of. So you could be doing your practice daily and kind of not be noticing, or notice a little bit, not too late, but later on than you would like, and notice later on, or not notice, that you're amplifying all these things in your life have kind of been, getting worse, You've been getting more angry, more reactive. And so we have to be really careful about our state of mind, our state of emotions. And that's why you really need to be, it's not like you need to be really skilled to do this, but you have to be willing to learn it properly and really be humble, really have that humility and know that you are a powerful being, and that without the right concentration, without the right kind of will, and without the right knowledge and guidance, you can really screw yourself up. And so that's why, it's good to get the right information. So as you can imagine, here's an image of someone, beautiful picture of someone channeling in, energy from the divine. So you can imagine here that if you don't have your vital energy smooth and vital and strong and flowing and nourishing you, you're not connected to the earth. And so you can see here all that divine energy coming through. Well, that's going to get stuck in your emotional body if you haven't cleared all the emotional reactivity. And kind of like a crazy recipe, it's going to go a bit wrong, probably not taste very good. It's going to get all crazy. And then you're also not connected to the earth to help discharge all of that and to recharge yourself. And so you really want this bottom energy here, this vital energy to be clear, this middle area here to be very released and free of emotional reactivity as much as possible, as much as you feel is you're capable of, and to get better and better, like really work on that, which will help you in your life. It'll help you to smooth out your emotions, be able to release your emotions, be less bonded to them and contracted into them. And then you really can work with the divine energy. And what happens is when you take care of your vital energy and you learn how to work with it, you learn about yourself, you through humility you work with your vital, and the same with your middle dantian. What happens is when you connect to that higher energy, your ability to learn about yourself and practice and kind of earn for yourself and your path and your spiritual consciousness, to earn the pathway to more refined, beautiful energy, more helpful, nourishing energy, you then, by having understood all your lower and middle dantian and got there, developed that, you actually, it's like a preparation for your higher energies. And so that when those higher energies come through, you're in a better place to know how to work with that, what it all means in relation to your lower self, your lower density vibrations. And through humility, you've taken care of them. Through studying and working out and feeling and really developing your sensing abilities, you're more ready for those higher energies. A lot of people just go willy-nilly, like straight direct into wall, power, power, power. And yes, you can really screw yourself up, but also you don't really know what to do. What are you going to do with all that? Like, what are you going to do with it? And it's also going to be coming in, like I said, and potentially really causing so much more reactivity, which can really make you feel confused, can lead to psychosis and many other issues. And I've seen that happen to a lot of people. So you really want to be careful. And so the vital energy, if you're feeling like if you're not in a good place emotionally, you really just don't feel like you got the skills or the vital energy to even go there, just work with your vital energy. Just work with your vital energy first for some time. Be humble, be willing just to get to know that part. A lot of people who do want the power, power, power underestimate the power of the vital, plus the importance of it. And so, if you're feeling like you just can't get it together emotionally, just work with vital. And that way you're not amplifying, you're going to avoid the amplification of emotional reactivity in your life. So as I said at the beginning of this video podcast, I work from the bottom up, the same way that you build a house, from the foundations upwards. It's the safest way. And once you get to the upper dantian, you also want to end your practice on coming back down. So you go bottom up, top down. And that way you work from the foundations up through to the top of your being, and then you ground that beautiful divine healing, very high vibration energy back down through into either your foundations, or you can bring it back down into your vital, into your low dantian, or you can bring it back down sequentially from your upper to your middle dantian and then into your lower dantian, back into vital energy. And that way, when you finish your practice, you're not walking around or driving your car or having conversation and you're just kind of floating out there. So you're able to integrate those higher frequencies back into your physical body, so that your mind can utilize it, your body can integrate it, and that way you're not floating and then can potentially become more reactive, coming into sudden lower density vibrations, such as talking to someone who's on a completely different level. You become reactive to that, or you go and do something like go shopping and you're not really grounded and it doesn't feel really good. You want to equalize and integrate, and there are ways to do that as well. So you ground back down into your body, and then you've actually got energy to work with. You've got that spiritual, beautiful spiritual energy integrated into your life, because integration is what it's all about. You live in a physical reality. We live in a dense physical material world, as well as, of course, many other realities and realms and dimensions going on at the same time, but we do actually fundamentally, and most people around us are very much physically connected to this physical dimension. And so we need to also be integrated. And that way also, as I said, you integrate the spiritual energies, which is what it's about being here, integrating. We do have a physical body. We have to deal with tax and shopping and petrol and crossing the road and conversations and things like that. So we need to integrate. And I did mention that when you go up into the upper dantian, that you just let go and do just kind of go with the flow. But actually, of course, on any of those levels of vital, astral, or upper, higher level energy there, you have a choice about what you want to do. So you may just say when you've kind of cleared all the way through and you've got a beautiful energy, you may just want to meditate. You may have a meditation practice that you want to go into. You may like to experience the stillness of the various dantians inherent in these dantians. You may, as I said, just sit with reality as it is, if that is your practice. You may have certain things that you are working on. If you're a Reiki practitioner, you may like to, bring those Reiki symbols through the various levels of your being, whatever it is. You may like to work with colors. And so if you're working with a color, for example, you could experience the color on the vital level, and then you can experience on the emotional level, and then you can experience the higher self aspect of that color through the upper dantian that you've activated there, from going bottom up, and then bring that color back down through. So there are many things that you can do. It's up to you, and it is always defined by what your goals are and what skills and abilities you're working on. So that is bringing us to the end of this podcast. I hope it's been helpful for you to learn a little bit more about the map of your being, your dantians, and which is a major map of your energy body, and it's a fundamental part of practice if you're a Qigong practitioner. And it is where all the chakras are housed in these three main kind of engines of energy. So if they are the chakras are like the vortexes of energy, the dantians are the home, the engine where they come from. And so when you're working with, just say, your Hara chakra, you're actually really working with the lower dantian, which is like a big cauldron of energy, and you draw from that infinite spaciousness. So there's many things you can do, and I hope it's been helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye for now.